Hey y'all, what's up? Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another discussion, conversation, or whatever regarding the Travis Rudolph case. A lot of people have been wanting me to really talk about it, and I feel like it's been a bit difficult to talk about it because it's so many different pieces. And I was thinking that I needed to cover it in the same way that I did the first one, when I did the first video where we talked about it or whatever, because I feel like it's different because so many witnesses have now hit the stage. Okay, so many different crime scene investigators and detectives and everybody hit the stage, and or not stage but hit the stand, and they all gave their testimonies and things, even gun experts. Like it was a lot of people hit the stand. We even got a chance to see Daryl, Travis, and their mom all hit the stand as well. But the people that I pulled out that I just wanted to highlight, because let me just say this: I don't predict this video is going to be very long. Just some cute little, quick little commentary or whatever. If anything pops in my head, I'll talk about it. But honestly, I just feel like it was so many different moving parts. It was so much people had to say. But let's just start with the black guy that you see in the corner. For a lot of people that may not know, Travis Rudolph is on trial for, I believe, 4 different counts. One is murder, and I do believe the 3 other counts were attempted murder. He was in that situation because he was protecting his brother as well as himself, and the incident led from, I guess you could say, an incident that he had with his girlfriend, or alleged girlfriend, because he said that ain't his girlfriend. She believes he was in love, or loved her or whatever. But we understand it. Okay, a lot of people in our community, we get it. When I say community, I'm really talking about black folks. I don't know how the others do, but what they call that is a situationship, not necessarily a relationship like you my girlfriend. It's really giving, I give you the access to me like you my girlfriend, but I don't give you the title. And not giving you the title still allows me to go out here and play on you and do whatever it is that I want to do. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you let her be at your house all the time. You loved on her. So if that was your girl, okay. The dispute really isn't whether y'all were together or not, because whether y'all were or not, Miss Girl was still married at the end of the day. And it's not a major factor in how things played out. Her actions is a very big factor, in my opinion, as to how things played out. Because once she got into that altercation with Travis, it was reported that she hit him upside the head with a trophy. She's broke his PlayStation. She hit him upside the head with a Patron bottle. We seen her on camera actually hitting him in the head. We did not see him hit her at all. And I feel like if a man is abusive and he hits you, girl, like you would have got decked in the face on screen when we saw that. But no, he was trying to calm you down and prevent you from hitting him. She lied and said that he threw her to the ground twice. Come to find out, she slipped and fell on her own. In addition to that, afterwards, unbeknownst to him, she took a brick, threw it at one of his car windshields, or one of the car windows, and bust his window out his car. And then she hopped in her car, pulled off. Right? She had so much animosity, so much anger built up in her, but she didn't want to say that on the stand. She only wanted to talk about how she was hurt. But you being hurt led you to call his mama, cuss his mama the hell out, and tell her she better get her son because you about to send your brothers over there to beat his ass and to likely kill him. You were so hurt that you did the same thing when you called his sister, snapping on his sister, telling her the same thing that you told the mama. You were so hurt that you went and called your brother Keyshawn and said some fly shit. Then called Tyler and told him some fly shit. Then y'all got in a text message talking about Travis is a dead man, and you told them to go shoot up his shit. Then sitting on the stand trying to sit up there and lie and say that shoot your shit up means anything but him. Girl, the attorney was like, so that means shoot his shit up would mean, his Daryl? Would it be his brother? Would it be his mom? Oh, she said no human. Okay, so no human, so it would be shoot up his house. What do you like? The girl couldn't even explain that, and it was the fact that the judge allowed her to sit up there and moonwalk herself out of this situation and try to explain to the jurors that she said things that she didn't mean and that she was hurt. On one hand, I did not like it. I did not appreciate it. I felt like she should not have had the range to be able to say that to the jurors. But at the same time, I felt like the judge was pretty quiet because he wanted her character to be exposed to, the jurors or whatever. But yeah, so, all of that happened. That was a lot of testimony and lies that came from her. And the crazy thing was that it was so obvious that she was lying, the way she got combative on the stand, the way that she was trying to always clarify, meaning let me explain things, let me dig myself out of a hole on stuff, the way that she was getting tripped up in her lies. Like, it's like the jurors, y'all gotta see this, right? On top of all of the young men that went over to their house to start this whole altercation. You know what I'm saying? So it was like all of them were lying. Chris Lowe, to me, was the most uncooperative, in my opinion, and then followed by Mr. Tyler, who kept saying and oh and this and that and getting smart and whatever. So I'm also hearing that these people are likely protected. Like, shout out to Natalie, lawyer chick, I do believe is her name. And she was kind of talking about like the whole immunity thing, where it's not like they received actual immunity, because people are saying, oh, they got immunity, they got immunity. But it's like, I don't believe a document was actually signed for them to get immunity, but it's kind of a situation where it's like it's understood that they kind of got immunity by like a verbal type situation. She was kind of like explaining, and I'm probably not explaining it right, I'm not an attorney, so but it sounded like it was just like one of those things that's understood, because if they didn't have some type of understanding that they would not arrest them, they would have already been arrested, because clearly Miss Dominique tampered with evidence when she was deleting phone records and deleting text messages out of her phone. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's kind of like one of those things that seem to be understood. It's kind of like what's understood don't got to be signed or whatever. So I don't know. So I can't say, a lot of people are saying that, I'll see you guys' comments and you'll say, well, they got immunity. But when I ask you guys, is there any like article or report or anything, nobody can seem to, guide me to that, because that's what I would like to see. Because like when we think about the Tory Lanez situation, it was understood, there were reports letting us know that Chelsea had received some form of immunity, right? But I haven't heard that when it comes to the individuals within the Travis Rudolph case, the alleged victims. And I hate how they kept trying to call them in the courtroom like victims. And it's like, I understand y'all trying to play on words for the jurors, but jurors, I really hope that you got your thinking caps on and you looking beyond that, because it's just too many clues. Now, I don't know what all they're going to take into consideration with these charges. He has a murder charge and then 3 attempted murder charges on him. I don't know how it's all going to play out, because I feel like what is likely to get him is the 39 shots. Not so much as everything that led up to it, or even when he fired. I feel like it's the 39 shots that's going to kind of like, if he were to do any time, I believe it's more so focused on those shots versus when he fired or anything like that. I don't know. But what I'm thinking about is I want them to consider all of the clues, okay? This young lady sent that she was upset, okay? But failing to acknowledge that she was upset. She sent a text message to some people for them to go over there and violate this man, okay? And then the gag for me is that she sent these people over to this man's house knowing he had weapons. And I just couldn't fathom, like, that's a careless person. That's a heartless person. I hope everybody sees her face with and without makeup. Hello? And just be on alert. Any man that deal with her in the future, like, just really be on alert, because I couldn't dare send my younger brothers, you know what I'm saying, or even my older brother, like I couldn't dare send them to somebody's door, like, go handle this for me, go shoot they shit up. Like, no, like, I'm gonna be thinking about your well-being. I won't want you to get in no trouble either. You know what I'm saying? Conversations can be had, but they could be had over the phone. You know what I'm saying? I've had a situation where, my big brother had to talk to an ex, but it wasn't like on some approaching type thing. It was like, okay, let me get on the phone and find out what's going on. So he called him. You know what I'm saying? Called him to get like an understanding, and not to come at him on some rah, 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 rah. Wanted to come from a place of understanding, like, well, what's going on, da 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 da, or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? So I just couldn't dare send my brothers. Like, it was really giving you set up your brothers or your brother and his friends, and then you also set up Travis, because you don't know what kind of trap you were walking them into, and that man had guns on him. You didn't know what Daryl may have had in his room and whether he had any weapons or they had anything else stored in the house, but you knew for a fact that Travis at least had 2 of those in his house. So for you to do that, like, you didn't care nothing about your brother and them, and it baffles me. And we'll get into the lead detective because Miss Vanderland, however you say her name, she truly pissed me the fuck off. She truly, like, girl, you are a danger to society, and that's just really what it's given, okay? But you walk those people into a trap, and for you to not face any type of charges, it pisses me off. And because I am familiar with women like this girl from stories that I hear people tell me about that they experienced with a woman, or me actually witnessing something firsthand when it comes to my family, it pisses me off because those type of women always get away in my book. So that's what makes me fear that Mr. Travis Rudolph is likely going to be found guilty. I would love for them to drop the charges down to manslaughter versus murder. We don't know. We shall see if that's even an option. But I do kind of like, my hope, understand, I hope that he is found not guilty. I'm not holding my breath, okay? My hope is not high, because when I look at this situation and I see how far this girl has gotten away with stuff and how she is, it's like bitches like her, they often get away with shit. And I hate it for him, because I do feel like he's going to do some jail time. I'm praying to God that he doesn't. But the chances to me are slim, and I want to be proven wrong by the end of the day, where the jurors come back with a quick verdict and they like, listen, we decided not guilty on all counts. Let's go home. Girl, I'm going to be up here going crazy, okay? Like, that's how you do that, right? But my hope is not high. And then also, I feel like my faith in the justice system is extremely low, because personally, I feel like this case really should not have even gone this far to trial. And if it did go this far to trial, I don't think those should have been the charges that he received. You see what I'm saying? So I definitely feel a way about that. But back to the situation with the guys and how I want the jurors to really like think. It's like these men, I ain't even gonna say young no more, these men pulled up past this man's house, saw that there was enough parking for y'all to park on the street. Y'all decided to park around and down the street from this man's house. Therefore, y'all wanted him to not necessarily see y'all coming. Y'all did not come there to have a conversation. Y'all came there to get some things started. Okay, that's exactly what y'all did. Now, there's the state tried to say that those guys, or at least Keyshawn, at least tried to call Travis to find out what was going on. I feel like he probably called Travis to cuss Travis the hell out and to see where Travis was at. I feel like he called Travis to get Travis hyped. If he did give Travis a call, Travis could not answer because the girl broke his phone and shattered it. He said the phone hit tile and it shattered. And it was crazy to watch how the state was talking and trying to downplay his phone not working, feeling as though he still could answer calls or he still could receive messages or whatever. And I'm just like, I have experienced that, where somebody has taken my phone, thrown it on the ground. And when I tell you that it shattered in millions of pieces. I didn't even know a phone could do that. Yeah, okay. So if she on a very hard surface, so if his phone's thrown on tile like that, girl, and you know it don't take much to break an iPhone, honey. Hello, and she was angry. Yeah, that phone was not workable. Okay, but I do wonder if his phone was fine and intact. Would he have answered the call for Keyshawn when he called? But I feel like Keyshawn and them had already had this whole plan in play of how they were going to play it. If he would have answered the phone, then it would have went like this, and then we would have pulled up on him and whoop, whoop, whoop. So I definitely feel like Keyshawn likely called him to get some stuff started. Not so much as to have a talk or get an understanding or anything like that. What else? Yeah, so they parked around, they got out the car, they put stuff, and then you even see them putting their stuff in the trunk. Why would you need to put all your stuff in the trunk if you are just going to have a conversation with somebody? Like, it was just so many things that was not adding up. And, you know, I really hate it. And I feel like one of the reasons I want him to get off is because I want it to be a valuable lesson to those boys, to those men. I want it to be a valuable lesson to them that some beef, you don't need to jump in. Sebastien, unfortunately, has already learned his lesson. And he's not here to learn more lessons. You know what I'm saying? Very sad situation. And that lesson is, don't hop in other folks' beef. You hopped in a situation that really had nothing to do with you, and it resulted in you dying that night. Tyler learned a lesson as well. You hopped in somebody else's beef thinking that you finna be a stunt man or whatever it is that you thought you were going to be, and you ended up getting popped a few times. Right? So it was just a lot of stuff going on. When it came to this situation. So after we went through all of the testimonies of, the witnesses and the guys that ended up, those men, 3 men, Miss Dominique and all of that, then the state moved on to other witnesses. And what was cringing for me was how many witnesses they had. And I feel like a lot of their witnesses didn't necessarily make them look good on the stand, in my personal opinion, when it comes to the state. No, but what is this man's, this black name? I believe it's Dr. Marlon Osborne. That's his name. They said they called him Dr. Marlon Osborne. He's the West Palm Beach medical examiner, okay? He got the opportunity to examine the body of Sebastien, okay? I had an issue with the state witnesses, and it's because I know y'all work for the state, and I get that. But I feel like you should be neutral throughout this. I feel like there were only 2 individuals that were like, maybe 3, that were neutral throughout this. One of the crime scene investigators, I believe her name was Danielle Bronson. I'm looking at her photo, so I know that was her. She was kind of neutral in the information that she gave. She didn't try to give anything that swayed from one side or the other, or when asked a question by defense, she didn't try to play on words with the question that was being asked. I believe it was her. I do believe that it was the other crime investigator woman that was with her as well. And I think it could have been a male. I think it could have been like the other detective, don't quote me, that could have given non-biased testimony as well. Okay. So, but everybody else, they was trying to act like they didn't understand, or like playing on words. Like, let's go back to Dr. Osborne. So when it was time for Cross to, talk to him, the defense, he tried to sit up there, and it was like he didn't want to admit that the posture of Sebastien's hand is one of a person that had a gun in it. And for you to be a person that works on bodies as long as you have, I know you have gotten unalived victims, like self-unalived, okay, the big S, people that died by the big S, those victims that choose to, opt out of this world on their own, and by way of, gun or whatever, like, you have had those people come in. You've seen enough bodies to know what that hand looks like. And for you to try and play on words and say, oh, anything could have been in there. It could have been anything. It could have been Skittles, could have been a drink. And I'm like, bro, was any of that found on the scene? Why you playing? Why you set up? Like, why you playing with people? Like, did you find any of that on the scene? And I believe the defense attorney ended up asking him that, like, were those items found? I said, thank you. So I know I'm not dumb. So none of those items were found on the scene. So why you sitting over here playing? Okay, you know what it was. So it was him working with the state. But one of the questions that I love that the defense said was, why is it that when I needed your services, you wanted to charge me $500? And then he gonna play on words and say, oh, well, I didn't charge you anything. NIGGA, you know what I'm saying. Why does your office, you know what I'm saying, why do y'all charge defense attorneys $500? And I think with him, he could have got to a question where he was, I don't even know if it was him, maybe it was someone else, that Shiner had to ask them if they were pretty much biased in a sense, because with this guy, and whenever he asked it, I was glad, because I said, a lot of the state's people coming up here, like, yeah, I understand you're representing the state, but at the same time, you do not have to kind of like try to play on words. You don't have to try to like leave out information or anything. Like, if the information's there, let's just talk about the information. This is your job. Like, let's just talk about it. And you have, in my personal, no allegiance to nobody sitting up here behind these, like, y'all just happen to work for the state. Like, both of y'all could get fired at any moment from the state. Like, what are we doing here? So I just didn't, just be neutral with your investigation. This is what I found. This is what I didn't find. This is what this is. This is what that, like, he was just playing a little too much for me when he was talking to Mr. Shiner. And I was just like, why is he, like, y'all witnesses is giving trash, like, very much so trash. And y'all had us sit through about 13 witnesses. Y'all brought all them people out. And I slick hope y'all brought all them people out for y'all to take a L. And speaking of a L, let me say this. As the case continues to go on, I like many others, extremely got frustrated. And that was primarily because I felt like the case was no longer, in my opinion, for the state about the death of Sebastien. And the obviousness of somebody's life being on the line for whatever happened. Clearly, they don't care about his life being on the line because, they represent the state. But it just seemed like to me it was more about a win. Like the more they interrogated and, asked more questions of like the defense people, and they're doing their jobs, and I get that, and the way they ask questions from the state and stuff, I was just like, girl, this ain't really no case that's about. And then the way they kept objecting every time Shiner and the team tried to say something, they just kept, especially the black woman, she just kept, objecting and having to go back. Can we come to the counter, Your Honor? Can we approach the bench? Can we every time she was getting on my fucking nerves. It was giving to me that this ain't even about nobody death. It's really just about y'all winning another case and having another notch under y'all belt, so y'all can say, as the state prosecutors, we're undefeated, even if y'all got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all didn't even, y'all don't care. So I'm like, do we expect them to? Like, this is their process. This is what they do. You know what I'm saying? I guess the system is not supposed to be fair. So, yikes. But I just wanted to highlight primarily the fact that Dr. Osborne really disappointed me with some of his testimony and his approach to some of the questions that were asked and the play on words. And I don't like that shit. Like, and then the judge not calling people on their shit and making them answer directly sometimes. Like, he would let some of the BS go on a little too long for me. For some people, I understood his madness. I did. And then for others, I'm like, Your Honor, you need to come on, chime in, step in, say something. So that was the situation with Mr. For Dr. Osborne. Y'all can leave y'all thoughts about him when y'all watched his portion, and how y'all felt about how he was giving his testimony when it came down to examining the body of Sebastien. And I didn't know Sebastien got hit like 10 times. Excuse me. I did not know that, but he did say, which was interesting, he said that one of the shots that Sebastien got was one of the shots that killed him was the one from the back. I believe it was one that hit him from the back, and it punctured his liver and did something to his spine and something else. So I was like, oh, interesting. That's real interesting. That was just real interesting for me. And I know this isn't going to make sense. But at one point, it had me questioning, like, so where was Tyler at? Was Tyler likely shooting back? And could Tyler have hit his own friend? That's kind of what I was wondering for a second, but, I don't know. So, but I'm just being honest in what kind of crossed my mind just a little bit. But I hate that he lost his life, especially when you're following behind somebody and it's not even your beef. And now his family has to deal with that forever. And I know if that was my family, I couldn't fuck with the Joneses like that no more. I couldn't. Don't tell me what my son meant to you and all of that. Because if he meant so much, you would have never got him tied up in your bullshit. I couldn't fuck with them people at all. What else did I want to talk about? This woman, Miss Vanderline. Let me first of all get her first name, because y'all need to know exactly who she is. And I believe it's Emily, but don't quote me. Give me 1 second, because I am gonna find her name. Because BITCH, you were a mess. It is in Emily, Detective Emily Vanderline. Okay, ma'am, you're trash. You are trash. This woman got on this stand, y'all, and she talked about how, I believe she's been an officer or she's been in the police force or whatever. I'm including her detective years for roughly about, 10 years or so. But she's only been a detective, from my understanding, so within the law enforcement field, it's been a little over 10 years, I do believe, or at least 10 years. Now, she said that she had been working as a detective for about maybe 3 years, but she's only done 4 cases, 4 homicide cases or whatever. And y'all, it was how she played in the defense's face for me. And as much as you tried to make them look bad and not give them what it is that they wanted, you made yourself look dog ass bad. Do y'all know this lady sat on this stand and said, when it came down to evidence, because he kept asking, did y'all go look over here and look over there to see where they hid the gun that Sebastien had in his hand, right? When they were asking her, did you find this gun? Did you go get this? Did you do that? She was like, no. And he said, why? She said, because I do not waste time searching for evidence if I do not know that it's there. And what she was trying to say, y'all, in my personal, what I felt like what she was trying to basically say was put it off on Travis and Daryl, saying if they would have told me and they would have had that conversation with me and told me that there were two guns, this, that, and the other, then I would have went and searched for that. That's what I was hearing from her. But at the end of the day, your job is to be a detective. And for you to say that you're not going to research or look for additional evidence if you don't know that it's there, that pisses me off, because then what is your job? The goal of y'all being detectives and looking for evidence is to uncover the evidence that people did not expect you to find. Okay, that is your goal. And what you're saying is that you're not going to do that because no one told you about that. So what you're saying is that you're going to give a half-ass investigation, and that is exactly what you did. In addition, she tried to play on the jurors by looking at them and say, I'm not going to waste taxpayers' money looking for evidence that I do not know is there. Well, BITCH, you're wasting taxpayers' money by putting the certain type of charges that you put on him. Okay, you're wasting their money by having them in this courtroom session, and you're wasting their fucking time. Having them be away from work for damn near ain't no telling how many days. Okay, but I feel like it's been about 11 of them. But yeah, so you wasting their time already. So you trying to sit up there and play on their feelings and stuff is what you're doing. Then she just So I didn't like how she handled that case. I mean, I didn't like how she handled the investigation or anything, do the research or nothing. And then she just tried to play on words when it came to the defense. But Mr. Shiner was on her motherfucking head. And as much as she was annoying me, I said, don't let up off her. Let her ass sit there. Let her continue to sit there for the rest of the day as you sit up there and you just probe and probe and whatever else you gonna do. Okay? Because she was getting slick annoyed, but she definitely maintained her composure the best way that she could. She also allowed Dominique to get away with a lot of things. Dominique deleted calls. I don't care what nobody's talking about. Dominique deleted calls out her phone, saying that she called Daryl. She said that she called the mom. She called the sister. But when they looked in the records, they couldn't find none of that. She deleted it. So either she deleted it or she gave them a whole different phone, which is what the woman attorney, the defense attorney, was asking. And she said, well, I made those calls. They're not there. So you may have to ask, the police. And they like, so are you suggesting the police tamper with evidence? I'm just telling you, you need to ask the police. Now, here's the thing. One, I do feel like she deleted them. But two, after watching the lead detective's investigation and how she wasn't willing to do additional research and how I feel like she sat on the stand and she actually lied on behalf of Dominique and them boys, I wouldn't be surprised if she did delete evidence her damn self, to be honest with you. Okay? I just wouldn't be surprised because I just don't trust this woman. And anybody that has this lady over y'all case down there in Palm Beach, Florida, or had her on your case in any capacity, you might need to see if you could get it reopened. And you might need to see if there's another detective that could possibly handle your case or something like that, because she's untrustworthy. Okay? She wasn't being fair, but she allowed this young lady to delete evidence from her phone. This girl deleted text messages where she said, shoot up his shit. She deleted text messages, I believe, where her brother had said, Travis is a dead man. But what she couldn't delete was that Google history, baby. She couldn't delete that Google history. So that was really interesting, where she was looking up different things and stuff, and her also being concerned about being an accessory to murder, because she knew that she sent those boys over there and she thought that it was going to come down on her. And it's really messed up. But listening to this detective, when they asked her, like, when Shiner was like, why didn't you charge her? She deleted evidence. Is that not tampering with evidence? And like, did you tell her not to delete anything? She was like, well, I didn't say it like that. Like, we had other conversations that were, girl, answer the question. That's what was killing me. Yes or no? Did you say that or did you not? Yes or no? No. Okay, then what did you say? Okay, all right, then, well, let us show you your evidence, because that's not what you said the last time we talked, girl. Here go your paperwork, girl, because you full of shit. Like, that's how that shit went. And she kept trying to, like, dress it up and fix it up. But shout out to Shiner, because he really, I felt, because at one point I felt like, oh, he's getting on my nerves, he's annoying, right? But I think it was just really the witnesses that he was questioning that was like a bit annoying to me, and also because I didn't understand his angle of where he was going with some of his questioning. But I will say, when he got on her, it's the baby, he was on it. He knew, that man knew what he was doing. You hear me? The way he was in there digging, calling her out. And I'm like, listen, if this man get charged with any of these crimes, hopefully the detective's handling of this case and her testimony, as well as Dominique's and anybody else's, is enough for him to try and get is enough for him to get an appeal. Not try, but is enough for him to get an appeal. Not sure what all of that. I'm not an attorney. I'm not in law to know what all the details are when it comes to trying to get an appeal. But I would hope that he's able to get one. Now, when you get an appeal, from my understanding, you would still, like, I guess, like, retry your case. But I feel like, I mean, is that a good thing? I guess. But doesn't it give other people the opportunity to just fix their stories up better, to come back at you the next time? So I don't know. I don't know. And I also wonder if you're able to use details of what they said from a previous trial to enter it into the appellate case or whatever. So I just, wonder about that. But Miss Vanderline, girl, like, she just, this bitch, she was really like, girl, pissing me off. Do you know she got on this stand and she said that she felt as though, none of the alleged victims, okay, Dominique and the 4 boys, she felt like they did not lie to her at all. He asked her about the gun and stuff, like about the one that was found. Didn't everybody tell you that there was a gun or something like that? And she was like, I think she tried to say that they did tell her. I don't know, because I feel like it was at one point she tried to act like she didn't know about it. Then she did know about it. Whatever it was, she was on bullshit because the gun was found later. Tyler never told you right out the gate. So basically what it was like Tyler omitted information. He did not come forth with the information initially. That's a bit of lying when you're omitting it, right? You're not including it if you see that we're doing an investigation and we ask you to tell us everything that you know, and you want to omit the fact that you actually had a gun or whatever, right? But even after her people found the gun, it didn't matter. Like, she still didn't want to second guess or believe that those people were lying to her, even though Dominique sat up there and deleted evidence. What it was giving for me, she's mad that the Rudolph family was not willing to have a conversation with her, and that they were smart enough to say, I want an attorney before I talk to you. Guilty or not, you could think whatever I am, but I'm innocent until proven guilty, and I'm not talking to y'all without an attorney, which I think was very smart, and it's their right to do so, which was disgusting to see the state attorney get up there and try to make these people feel wrong for not talking to the police, as if that's not their right to not talk to the fucking police. Are you stupid, bitch? But anywho, I think that was the motive as to why the lead detective pretty much was like, okay, cool, y'all don't want to talk to me, I bet, guess what, I'm gonna do my case however I do my case, and it's pretty much, I'm gonna build a case against y'all. Like, that's what it was given to me. But also I think it had a lot to do with them being the first ones to call the police. I feel like had the Rudolphs called the police first and kind of gave them a heads up on what happened, possibly it would have went in their favor. IDK, I could be wrong, but I think they were the ones to get the call first, give the police whatever type of story they wanted to give the police. When the police followed up with y'all and then y'all were not interested in talking, I feel like she felt the way about that and said, okay, well, hey, I got enough testimony, I'm gonna ride off of whatever it is that they tell me. Then they tried to make these people feel a way about not talking to the police, right? We talked about that, and she said she gave them the car, I gave them my card or whatever, and they like, oh, well, did they try to call you afterwards? And it's like, first of all, BITCH's, this is not the Rudolph's case. Like, for them to be investigating, this is y'all case. Y'all should have been the ones, in my personal opinion, to follow up and say, hey, I'm not sure if you guys got your attorney yet. Would love to talk to you guys whenever you're ready. Is what y'all could have did. But Miss Vanderline, bitch, you done lost all kind of credibility when it comes to me. Girl, I couldn't. Girl, let me tell you, Florida, y'all's a fool right now. Y'all cutting up down there, girl. I will say that y'all's definitely. I mean, they cutting up everywhere, but with the Ron DeSantis stuff, girl, and this situation, girl, is giving a little more cut up than others. But I could not do you. It was the way that you sat on the stand and you lied. Talk about some Dominique came to you and told you that she deleted everything. I do not believe that. Dominique didn't even want to give you the phone. She gave the phone to you by way of a friend. And then Dominique's excuse was, it's too far from my house. Girl, you ain't had no problem driving yourself all the way out there to Travis's house every motherfucking day or the time, periodically, excuse me. So you did not want to. So when Shiner said, is it true? Or no, I think it was the other woman, the woman that was interviewing her. The woman was just like, so basically you did not want to have to answer any questions from detectives. You didn't want to have to talk to nobody. So you had a friend drop it off. And I feel like that's a problem within itself. Why are we passing evidence through multiple hands? That evidence should have came straight from her hand, straight to the detective's hand. It shouldn't have been no damn, you could get this person to drop it off. No. What if it would have got damaged with that person? No, she should have came to the station and dropped it off herself. You was already giving her too much leeway. And it's a gag for me because I'm trying to understand what the hell does this girl have on her that y'all are willing to sympathize so much with her. Travis, what did this girl have on her that she could stomp on your ass come Valentine's Day and you still just hanging in there, and now she done set you the fuck up just about a month or two later? What is it? What she got on her that she could sit up there and send a text message to her little brother and his friends and they don't go? Girl, what is going on? What kind of power does she got? That everybody's just willing to, skate along when it comes to her and overlook the bullshit when it comes to her. That's what I'm trying to understand. Now, granted, that karma may not hit now, but at some point in life, that karma's going to hit out your ass. It will. But I do still feel like I hate it so much because I feel like with situations like this and women like her, they get away with their bullshit. And I hope that this is not going to be the time that, she gets away with it. But it's sad because even if he got off, they still ain't going to charge her probably. They ain't do it, so they probably not going to do it. And then if he goes to jail, then she really won. She really got what she wanted. She ruined his career. She ruined his life, all because he was over there entertaining another woman. Well, all you had to do was leave. Like, you over there throwing a fit, kicking, scratching, throwing shit, tearing up stuff. I never quite understood that. I don't think women understand just how much if you really want to hurt a guy, don't say shit. Just leave. Just leave. You doing all that extra reacting and giving him this and giving him that, that ain't going to really make him respect you more or do anything. What's going to catch him off guard is the lack of a response. Soon as you saw that, you should have packed your stuff up. Be like, hey, I'll be back. Yeah, I'm about to go over here. Da-da-da-da. And then I won't talk to that no more. He would have been blowing your phone up. Like, where you at? Why you ain't da-da-da? What's going on? Da-da-da. Just stop with him. Like, if you really wanted to get at him, that would have been the better way to do it. For real. But you're a woman that's not mature yet and don't know how to handle your emotions. So you're going to forever find yourself in situations. What else did I want to talk about? Daryl's brother hit the stand. Shout out to him. A lot of people try to get him flack for his kind of like stuttering a bit and hesitation with answering stuff. I loved everything about his testimony. I do not care. And people was like, well, I don't know, if he really did good because he was stuttering. Girl, that's great, actually, in my personal. Because what I took from his testimony was that he wasn't a confrontational person. So when that male attorney from the state got up there to be combative with him and check on him, and it made him stutter even more, you could tell that he flinches at the sight of confrontation. That's not his personality. That's not something that he likes. So it works, in my personal opinion, it works in his favor to see how he could have possibly handled the situation when it came to the 4 boys. And when you hear him talk about how he tried to calm down the situation between Travis and Dominique, he's not a confrontational person. He seems like a person that don't really like all that extraness. He's just low key. Like, I just want to chill. Like, I don't like drama. I don't like this. Like, that's the type of vibe that he gives. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that kind of like worked in his favor. And my favorite thing was, can you repeat the question? I love that. I love that so much because I feel like that's way more respectful than sitting up there trying to tell somebody, I don't know what you're saying. Like, you asking me these questions and then, getting an attitude. It's just like, I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? Love that. Even if it is buying him time to really think, loved it. Okay, for me, I thought he did excuse me, to me, an amazing job. I didn't really take notes on his things. I can't really remember everything that he talked about. Let me see what some of these headlines are saying. They're saying, oh yeah, okay, so Daryl did say that, and shout out to him. I was glad he said this. He said that Dominique orchestrated the whole thing, okay, when it came down to the girlfriend, or the alleged girlfriend, the brother, all of that. Daryl went on to blame Dominique Jones for this deadly confrontation. Let me tell you, baby, when that baby said that on that stand, I was like, let them know. Let everybody know why the fuck we are here today. Okay? In case y'all motherfuckers want to forget. Now, how much is going to matter in the decisions when it comes to the jury, I don't know, because I don't know if the jury's gonna be like, all of that information is obsolete. We only looking at the charges at hand, which is 3 attempted murder and murder. Let's see. That's the only part. We're not even worried about everything that happened earlier. We only focused on the portion that happened by the car. We don't know how they're going to look at this situation. We just don't know. But I was glad at the end of the day. I hate for Travis to go to jail, prison or whatever. But at the end of the day, this is going to be a case a lot of people are not going to forget. And it's going to be a case that Dominique Jones is forever going to carry on her shoulders. And we all know the truth, that she did orchestrate all of this. Like, why go so far to delete evidence out of your phone? And lead detective, why go so far to not read more into that, to actually investigate that? Why would one delete evidence out of their phone? Because here's the gag. If you know a criminal did something, whether they did or didn't, and they approached you, how a real detective is going to handle this, and they be like, oh, I deleted evidence or whatever like that. That's not going to stop y'all from charging them. You're going to act like you're understanding in that moment. But as you continue to do your investigating, they're likely going to be arrested. If Travis would have came to y'all and said, yeah, I deleted some information, okay, gotcha. Thank you so much for letting us know. We're going to go ahead and detain you. Like, that's how that would have went. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gave that whole too many passes because y'all wanted to get this black NFL player locked up, or ex-NFL player locked up. Let's see what else Daryl had to say. Let me see if there was anything else, because Daryl was on point. That boy, let me tell you, that baby kept saying, fiercely, girl, that was his word. I was fiercely assaulted, baby. Let me tell you, he wore that word out, or those words, fiercely. I said, you better keep telling them about you being fiercely assaulted, and you didn't know what to do. You was worried because you was over there getting beat up by Chris Lowe and Sebastien. You better let them know what's going on. Okay? So then they asked, they said Travis's brother, Daryl Rudolph Jr., claimed that the shooting victims, Sebastien and Tyler, pointed guns at him and his brother during a confrontation at their home. I believe all of this. When them boys said that they were in the car, and Sebastien had one like this, and then Tyler was kind of like behind the door with his or whatever, I believe all of that. It makes so much sense, because especially with Tyler, baby, you didn't even get in the car. They tried to say he got in, he got out. That baby ain't never get in that car. That baby was never in that damn car. He was using that car as a shield, because if he was in that car at all, when y'all pulled off, he would have still been in that car. That door would have went closed. No, he started running. And that says a lot about y'all friend too. He wasn't even willing to be in the car. He was like, y'all gonna get clapped, not me. Let me run off. And then this is the other thing I need people to really pay attention to for me. And I'm saying it now because it's on my mind. I was going to say it at the end. For me, and I don't even know if I said it at the beginning. No, I think I did say it in the beginning, but I'll say it again. If Travis Rudolph was indeed the murderer that y'all are trying to make him out to be, when Tyler ran off from being in that car, he would have never stopped his brother from running after him. And Travis would have ran down on Tyler himself and gunned him down if he really wanted to be a murderer and murder somebody. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. I believe everything that boy said when he was like, the car was coming towards him. Whether the car coming towards you or not, a person pointing a gun at you is enough of a threat. And the gag is, before they could pull the trigger, which is the reason they came over there, Travis got to them first. Y'all heard the white male detective get up there and say, if y'all didn't see the white male detective, he did get up there and he was just like, a Shiner asked him, if a man was pointing a gun at you, what would you do? He said, you asking me what I would do? He was like, yeah. He said, I'm shooting until the threat is eliminated, period. Because that's how they're trained to do. Period. You shooting this gun, you pointing this gun at me, then I'm going to have to handle it. And I feel like that's something that anybody would do. Because ain't nobody finna just stand there and get shot if they got the gun in their hand. what was his name? His name was McMichael. Sean McMichael. That's who he was. Let's see. Okay, Agent McMichael is the K9 handler. So I believe he had the K9 out there. He's been working with that K9 for a long time. And I do believe that he was the one that was able to find the gun that Tyler had threw. So he found that gun that Tyler threw, and he was the one that said he would shoot until, the threat is eliminated. It's really that simple. Let's go back to Daryl. Let's see what else. What else was I talking about? Yeah, I was just talking about the Tyler situation, him running off. I felt like if Travis was that much of a murderer, he would have ran down on him. You know what I'm saying? And likely, clapped that boy or whatever at that time, because they knew he didn't make it in the car. They knew that. So he ran off. They knew that. I believe the police found him in the neighborhood. So when the boys pulled off into that little abandoned shop or gas station or whatever, Tyler wasn't with them, from my understanding. In addition, Sebastien in the front seat bleeding out. They had enough time to get the gun out of his hand and toss it or throw it or whatever, and they just didn't do their proper investigation like they should have, because them boys gave them a sob-ass story when they got there. And I'm sure what they also did to buy them time was cry, act extremely distraught so that it can delay the questioning that was going to come to them. So if they have time to talk to each other, they could have fixed up their damn stories. You see what I'm saying? What else did Daryl, they're saying that Daryl brother recalled the moment four men came to the house confronting the former player about a fight he had with his ex, because he was the first person to walk out the house. So he's like, what's up? Like, he just trying to see what's going on. They was like, what Travis said? And then he said they just started cussing him out. You know what I'm saying? And I could see that, because I feel like he could have been a person that was trying to get an understanding, like, well, hold on, like, let's talk, like, because that's the role he played when it came to Travis and the sister and stuff. And just seeing his demeanor, he seems like that type of person that wants the calm and not the storm. So let's get an understanding. So them dudes came there for some action and saw that Travis wasn't answering their call, so felt like he probably was ignoring them or whatever, not knowing sister threw the phone on the ground and lied about falling, so they started cussing him the hell out. Then Travis is hearing this, so he went ahead and grabbed his item, sat it out there. And that's another thing. He could have came out there and just blasted on them for them being on his property. He sat it down. Let me go outside and see what's going on. Let's try and rectify this. Like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I don't think I'm going to need it. But in case I need it, because it's for y'all. I don't know all y'all niggas. I got somebody standing at my door with his shirt off. Black folks know what that means. Somebody walk up at your house with a shirt off. First of all, the boy came there with the shirt on, then took it off. We finna scrap. Like, we finna get into some things, okay? Soon as he get outside trying to talk this Keyshawn, that's the only person he know, wop wiggity wop wop. Tyler decided to be Mr. Tough Man, and he steals on Travis, and that's where the whole brawl ended up breaking out. Mama tried to come outside, tell people to calm down, chill out. Y'all sister out here lying and stuff. Girl, Mama, you should have just ran back in the house. I think she said, because I didn't listen to all of the mom's testimony, but I believe that she said that she could have called the police. Don't quote me. I thought she ran inside to call the police, but don't quote me on that, because I did not get her full testimony. I'll be honest on that. But the Rudolph brother, Daryl told the jury that the girlfriend of the former NFL player lied about his brother body slamming her. She's making this up. Let me tell you, this was the realest mother to come on this stage. Okay, to come to the stand. The realest one to come to the stand. His story just lined it up to me so perfectly of how I'm looking at the situation myself before we even get to him, because we spend so much time on the state. And I'm sitting over here like, I bet you this is how this happened. And like the way he came up there and spilled it all out, I'm like, boom, that makes sense. Yup, sounds about right. Yup, boom, 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 common sense hitting. Like, it just made sense. Like, and then what I loved the most was how he was not protecting his brother. See, that's where you come off as fake. See, if his brother was wrong, he acknowledged that he was wrong. He was doing too much. He did do this. He did do that. He did X, Y, Z. He was antagonizing her. I said, that's a witness you can trust, when a witness is not trying to overhype another person to be worse than the other. But he's just like, listen, this is what it is. This is what it ain't. Whatever. I thought he did amazing on the stand. Amazing. He was the realest, most honest person that we had gotten, but that's only if, you've been watching the trial since day one. Because some people didn't notice that. It was like, oh, he's stuttering. Oh, he this, oh, he that. Girl, you probably just, jumped in towards a later part. It's okay. Anywho, because in comparison to what we had some fools. Y'all think he was, let me tell y'all, go back and watch Tyler's testimony. horrible. Horrible. Couldn't stand him, and I wanted him to get that frog. I wanted to reach over there and grab that motherfucking frog out his throat, because that's what he was sounding like. They're saying that Daryl testified his brother's girlfriend was punching him during a fight on April 7th. The fight led to 4 men coming to the house to confront him, and he's not lying. She put all of that in motion. And then here's where she was stupid at, too. You called his mama and told her this is what you were going to do. You told Daryl and Travis this was what you was going to do. You told his sister this is what you were going to do. Granted, they're thinking, because y'all always bickering, they're downplaying it, thinking this ain't that deep, it ain't that serious. She's probably not going to do that. She's just upset right now like she always is, whatever. Nah, okay? Nah, okay? No. She was dead ass serious, unbeknownst to them. They was not ready for the action that she was really about to bring over there. And she really literally did it, but she played herself when she called the family and told them the tea of what she was getting ready to do. And then tried to slick moonwalk herself out of it. Well, I called his mom. I talked to his mom, but I would never say that. I would never say anything like that. Like, his mom was like a mom to me. Like, she did. Like, the girl had an answer for everything. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but the answer, like, her credibility began to be shot when they started talking about just different stuff. First of all, the credibility was shot when she's jealous over what he's doing in his phone, but you married. That's where it shot for me. That's where it shot for me. That's where it shot for me, girl. No, ma'am. You're married, and you can sit up there and try and say that you was divorced all day long. People love saying that and still about be fucking off on their eggs. Okay, we separated, and it don't mean y'all not getting it in. Who financed that BBL, ma'am? And it was too funny. She didn't want to mention that, but who financed the BBL? Because you couldn't afford it. How were you making money? Did you have money saved up? Was Travis financing your money? He broke, but you was with him. It's so funny. Women deal with these broke ass dudes, these little dick ass men that y'all love to say, but then be all happy and in bliss. But soon as some stuff not working out your way, then you want to sit up there and say, oh, she's a raggedy bitch, or he's a raggedy bitch. He broke. He ain't got this. But you was happy with him. That's the same thing with a dude. A dude to try and say a woman cootie twa stank. Like, oh, she got some stank cootie twa. She this, she that. But you was with her though. You was with her for a long time though. Now she's all this and that. When you ain't with her, like, y'all kill me with that. Like, grow up. I'm trying to see what else happened. The state attorney badgering Daryl about not calling the police and why didn't he call the police and all of that. And it's like, he has a right to not. He has a right to not. If he didn't want to, they figured people was coming, which I would have thought too. And I wanted him to go back and reference, and nobody would say it. And I get it. Y'all weren't thinking in the moment. One of the neighbors said, call the cops, because they had came outside. So he was likely yelling at another neighbor. They heard all the commotion, all the shots, everything, enough for somebody to step outside the house and be like, call the cops or whatever. So, hey, I'm going to think the cops coming too. Shit, y'all already talking about call the cops. Y'all about already got y'all calls. And here's the gag. Detective ignorant bitch, Miss Vanderline, sat up there and said they got multiple calls. Then here was the gag that I know she lying about. Talking about, so we also got calls about people knocking on doors saying help. Girl, stop your shit. I do not believe that at all. I do not believe Tyler was knocking on nobody's door saying none of that. I thought he was found in somebody's backyard, child. So when did he knock on somebody's door? How did y'all find him? How did that happen? Talking about there were also multiple calls, where people were saying, someone was knocking on their doors saying help and all of that. Girl, I guess he probably was, honey. I just felt like she was lying because she sat up there and lied about other shit. And that's the thing for me, detective. You were under oath and you sat up there and you lied. I want your head on a platter. I want your job snatched. What else did I want to say? Was there anything else that happened about this? Did I have any other things? I'm over here looking, trying to see if there was anything that I tweeted about this particular situation. Oh yeah, their dad died. Daryl did talk about that, saying that his dad died back in 2017. They tried to say that it was an accident or something, but he was shot in the head. Ain't nothing accidental about that. Somebody dad being shot in the head on the job. I don't know about that one, honey. I don't know about that. And it just seems like they kept dealing with trauma after trauma. I believe their dad died. I believe they had a nephew that died. And then they got this situation going on. Like, girl, it's like, can they catch a break? Lord have mercy. What else ended up happening? But yeah, at the end of the day, I think that Daryl did what needed to be done. He held his own on that stand, and I was definitely proud of him. The mom also went up. She said her piece. I kind of couldn't watch hers because I really could not take how the state attorney was coming at her. Like, it was just like, I don't know. It was just, I don't know. It kind of made me think of my mama sitting on the stand and somebody like just getting smart and just da-da-da. I'm like, oh, I can't take it. I'll come back to this. I can't do it right now. So I didn't get to like finish out her whole thing. But I did get a chance to watch Travis, and Travis did his thing. I feel like Travis got on the stage and did what the fuck needed to be done. Okay? He was very clear. He was very honest. And what I loved was when, first of all, let me tell y'all what's so funny. Miss State Wig, Miss State Attorney Wig. Girl, you tried so hard to trip that man up and get him to agree to your manipulation of how you saw things. And that man was like, no, ma'am. I was like, ooh. Don't fall for it. Thank you, Trav. I'm over there like, Trav, don't fall. Don't slip in the hole. Don't slip in the hole, Trav. And he wasn't. He was like, no, ma'am, that's not how that went. When she tried to say that a car was backing up, you see the car, you see the lights is backing up. I'm like, I don't know if those are lights or if those are flashes. Because now it doesn't look like they're backing up. That doesn't look like that to me from the angle that I was looking. I was like, I feel like that's a flash. I think those boys got in that car, but they didn't pull off until he started firing. That's kind of what it looked like to me. And I loved how he was like, nah, like whatever video this is, that's not it. She said, are you saying that they tampered with evidence? Are you saying this video's been tampered with? I'm just letting you know that video that you got, that ain't it. Like the video that you got, like that's not how that went. And I was just like, yes. So she played a different angle or whatever like that. So yeah, I just appreciated how he stood in his stuff and, really held his own. And she tried to trip him up so much, but she saw that she wasn't going anywhere, which is why I was surprised that she gave up sooner. I thought that she was going to try to drag out the I'm gonna say interrogation, but the questioning or whatever, I thought she was gonna drag it out for much longer than what it was. So when she wrapped it up, I was like, dang. But another thing that I loved was when Shiner kept objecting her ass and kept saying, can we go to the stand? I said, let's go. I said, because when y'all first started and y'all were interviewing the state witnesses, she kept objecting. She kept saying, can we go to the stand? She called y'all out on every single thing. So when she sat up there and interviewed Travis, I loved that he was barely letting her ass get a statement out. Okay? And I loved when the judge was over there like, sustain, girl. Nah, re-ask the question, rephrase, because she was coming off hella argumentative. Baby, when she was going up there to the stand, talking to the judge, she was giving every bit of aggravated, every bit of pissed, because she really wanted to go in and she had to fix her tone when it came to him. I said, I bet she did have to fix her damn tone, oh heifer. But I felt like Travis did a good job when he got on that stand, explained everything. And one thing she said, girl, Travis tried to say that's not what happened. He said, I don't know if your eyes are off or if it was something he said. And I laughed. And when he told her that, she says, Travis, the judge is talking. Can you be quiet? You can be quiet now or something. She started getting real snappy with the man. And I'm like, Travis, listen, you got her there, but don't get her no more, because this is what she's trying to do. She's trying to trigger you, to get you flustered, to show a different side of you, okay, to the jurors. That's what she's trying to, like, don't go there. So I think he got slick with her one time, when he saw that she was kind of getting frustrated, and you could tell he wanted to laugh. And it's funny because I can be honest and say that I see that as something that would piss Dominique off. When she would get flustered, he would laugh. That's one thing a woman don't like. Like, don't piss me off and then laugh about it, So, yeah. I'm trying to see what else ended up happening with his testimony. I can't think of what else he mentioned, because there was so much. Let me see. Let me go over here and see if Law and Crime may have more of what he said in his testimony. Let me see. Former NFL player Travis took the stand in his own defense during his trial on Monday. He testified Dominique Jones' alleged ex-girlfriend was never his girlfriend. That's what he said. He said he was doing him. I don't know why we focused on that too much, because I just felt like, and like, it's not like, it don't matter like whether she his girl, she not his girl, like that's not really a major deciding factor when it comes to this case. But I don't believe that she was his girl. I believe she was in a situationship with him. Rudolph said it was clear he was allowed to see other women and he didn't cheat on Jones. Now this is where he messed up for me, when he said he had gave her the password a month to 2 months prior. Now I appreciate the honesty, but when I hear that you gave her the password a month to 2 months prior, it does sound like you give her free range to go on the phone. But here's the gag. Whether a person gives you free range to go on their phone or not does not give you the right to damage their property or to harm them physically in any capacity. You take this situation to Judge Mathis, your ass is wrong. Period. You owe them. Because as adults, we're expected to be able to be in control of our emotions regardless what is happening around us. So just because they tried to make it seem like you understand why she's mad, right? You understand why she did this. And it was like, state, y'all sound stupid. It sounded like y'all justifying her actions to pretty much put a hit out on this man. She put a hit out on this man. She told him to go shoot his shit up. These boys came with their guns. Hello, getting ready to shoot his shit up until they saw how big his shit was. Okay, then they want a slick retreat. Yeah, it appeared that they retreat, but it don't matter if they retreated or not if they still posed a threat. And that's going to be the question for the juries to figure out. Because if the guns were up and both of the brothers are saying the guns are up, that's a problem. Another thing he said, he was trying to say that he was in front of his brother was behind him. So the state attorney said something like, okay, great. So you're confirming that your brother did not see the guns. Not necessarily BITCH, because you can be behind somebody or you could be in front of somebody and that person still be off to the side. So just because I'm in front of my son could still be over here. You feel what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that he can't see what's going on. Doesn't mean that he can't see anything that's going on. But you tried to play Miss State Attorney Wig. You tried to play BITCH. You did. But it doesn't, no, they both saw what the hell was going on. And you also messed up, Daryl, when you said you ran after him. Like, that was dumb as hell. But I do understand why you ran after him, because you felt safe. You had your big bro with you now. Your big bro got the fire, and he the one running. So you chased him down. But my question would have been, what were you going to do had you caught up with him? Were you going to hold him down until the police got there? Because that's probably some shit I would have did. Bleeding or not, here he go. Because he just came here trying to shoot us. He threw away the gun. He right here. He right here. Outside of that, when it come to what I did, you're going to have to wait till I get with my attorney. But I'm going to tell on him and tell you what he did. Okay? But let's see what else ended up happening. Okay, yeah, he talked about the details with Dominique Jones. She confronted him about talking to a girl. She started hitting him. He said she hit him on the head. Like, she was just doing too much. Hit him on the head with a trophy, with a damn Patron bottle, with her fist, tearing up his damn PlayStation, breaking his car. Y'all need to sue this hoe, okay, to get y'all stuff back, and sue her for emotional distress, even if you are guilty of a crime. Hello? And she also called the mama and the sister and harassed them. Sue this bitch. While she over here still talking about she a real estate agent, but ain't sell not damn property. Girl, have a fucking seat. Okay, but then want to turn around and get a BBL. And what be killing me, and I'm going to say this, and y'all ain't got to like it, y'all be killing me going out here getting BBLs but not doing the work that you're supposed to be doing to maintain the figure. Hello? You don't just get it and just sit around. Girl, you got to work out. That be y'all problem. Y'all be getting lipo and stuff and thinking that it's just going to be. No, you got to go work out, girl. You still got to do your part. Yikes, okay? Let's see. Was there anything else? I think that was pretty much it that I could think of from Travis. But I think he handled the case well. I think he did a good job. And I think that Miss Attorney Wig realized that she wasn't really going to shake him too much. But we shall see. The verdict is out, hopefully today. Hopefully it's a quick one. They let us know what's going on. I'll be honest, my stomach is in my R's because I don't know what's going to happen. And yeah, I'm a little nervous for him. I'm very scared for him. I don't think he should be in this situation at all. But I do think that those 39 shots is definitely going to play a factor, because I honestly thought that a AR-15, y'all, was just like an automatic pop, 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 pop. But when the shout out to the gun person that they had come up and showing us the bullets and explaining everything, he says no, it's semi-automatic, so you still have to pull the trigger. But then my question still becomes, how many bullets are released for each trigger that's pulled? I don't know if that question was answered, and some of y'all might know, and y'all can leave it down in the comments, because I don't really know a lot about guns. But with the AR-15, how many bullets are released for each trigger that's pulled? Is it one still? Is it still one? Like, I don't know what makes the AR-15 different than like a regular, I guess, Glock 9mm or whatever it was that Tyler had in comparison, or you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But y'all let me know down in the comments. This is just going to be a very interesting case. Like, although we feel like he should not be here, he is on trial for murder, attempted murder ×3. So they have to figure out what they're going to find him guilty of or innocent of. And then I'm wondering, is it possible when it comes to the two individuals that had the gun, could he be found not guilty on those? Like, not guilty for murder, not guilty for attempted murder, but it's clear Chris Lowe didn't have a gun. So they say, right? He was down in the car. Sebastien was driving the car. Even though they weren't hit, could it still be considered attempted murder for them? And then he be charged with 2 counts, guilty attempted murder, is what I'm wondering. I don't know, because a lot of our focus has been on the murder of Sebastien. It's like we forget about the attempted murder charges that are there as well, right? It's clear we know for a fact Tyler had a gun. Okay, so was that attempted murder when he was threatening to kill them, right? So it could be innocent, when it comes to the murder. We're not going to try, not guilty for murder. But then what about the other two? So that's what makes me think when I break it down like that, and not just focusing on what the girlfriend did and what some of the guys did, but really looking at the actual charges that are at hand, and not so much as looking at stand your ground, because that's really not even a factor. It's more so what the charges are. When I look at the charges and break it down, that's what makes me feel like he's likely going to do some jail time, and that's why they put all those charges on him, so that if one doesn't stick, something does. So that's where we are. I really hate it. I want you guys to go ahead and continue to leave your thoughts and comments regarding this case. I am Jamie, that's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie, that's me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.